Thanks so much for joining us on the bright side once again. Earlier this week, you guys might have heard, I'm sure somebody's been talking about it, the American Medical Association, the disingenuous geniuses from the AMA, declared obesity to be a disease. And this, in my opinion, is a prelude to this dangerous nonsense that we're about to embark on called Obamacare, supposed healthcare legislation that is ironically about to infect us all like a virus. Obamacare is indeed an insidious, controlling, power trip virus, a power usurping virus. Means basically now we could be treated for obesity. That's what the American Medical Association declaration is a prelude to. We are all going to be treated for obesity. Obesity is going to be a disease. We're going to be drugged for obesity. You're going to be cut open, surgically manipulated because you're obese. You're going to be billed, and your insurance company will be billed, and your insurance company is going to cover you for being obese. Why do you think the power structure, the power and control structure, the representatives of big pharma and big medicine, why do you think they want to make obesity an illness? Is it because they love you? Is it because they're our friends? Is it because they even care about us? Is it because they even give a rat's you-know-what about us? No, it's not. It's because they want to charge us. Obesity is about to become a diagnosis, a disease, so that it can be billed, so that it can be treated by doctors, so doctors can have more business, so we can create a whole new demographic market for the medical model. So the medical model can create yet another reason to turn our poor lifestyle choices, our bad decisions, into an office visit, into a billable office visit. So the medical model can expand its reach, so it can expand its market. So drug companies and insurance companies and doctors can have another reason, another excuse to stick their grimy little paws into our lives, into our pocketbooks, into the sacred and divine space of our bodies. And yesterday we learned that 70% of Americans are taking at least one prescription drug. This according to an article that was on CBS News and a whole bunch of other websites. And another 50% of Americans are on two drugs. And the vast majority of these drugs, they're for chronic, long-term, lifetime use. And while this comes as no surprise to a pharmacist, nonetheless, when you read about it in the papers, it is shocking. It's a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call. People, can you see what is happening here? We're all on drugs. Our doctors are deified. They're gods. And the American healthcare system is the best in the world, but we're sicker than ever before. We're fatter than ever before. According to the journal Radiology, chronic illnesses account for 70% of deaths and for the expenditure of over 75% of direct healthcare costs in the United States. That's a quote from the journal Radiology. Direct costs for chronic disease, lifetime disease, choice disease, really, is $1.5 trillion, and that's from 2005. It's probably a lot more now. But what the journal Radiology doesn't mention is the fact that these chronic diseases are occurring within a context of more doctoring than any society has ever been subject to in the history of societies, in the history of humanity. When it comes to chronic disease, to degenerative breakdown disease, the vast majority of disease, connective tissue disease, as we'll talk about here in a moment, the medical model is useless. The medical model is impotent. The emperor has no clothes. The medical model, the emperor is as naked as a jaybird. We have to wake up, folks. We're being lied to by a government-authorized medical model that is first and foremost an economic model that regards us, humans, not as human beings, not as biological systems, not as humanity, but as numbers, statistics, bell curves, reference ranges, normal values, test scores, and nastiest of all, as sources of income. In the same way that our government regards its citizens not as living, breathing human beings, but as resources, as government/corporate assets. That's what we are. We're assets for the corporate government. The medical model is the same. It looks at us, at our families, at our children, as resources, as sources of income for their mortgage payments, for their greed, to improve the bottom line, to improve the healthcare industry's bottom line. That's what we are. We're assets for their bottom line. That's why we are being legally compelled to participate in this scam called Obamacare. And that's why the tax department, the revenue department, the IRS, is being set up to implement and regulate this epic, historic scam called Obamacare. If we're going to be able to maintain even a shred of our freedom and independence, we have to be interfacing as little as possible with the medical model, with Obamacare. We have to stop participating in the medical model. Folks, if you have blood pressure problems, connective tissue diseases, diabetes, whatever, think about this. Why are you going to the doctor at all? He can't help you. He cannot help you. He never has helped you. He can't help you in the future. He hasn't helped you in the past. He's not helping you now. Diabetics, Alzheimer's patients and your families, osteoporosis sufferers, depressed patients. Has your doctor ever helped you? Are you better? You may be at best drugged and you don't know that you have a problem, but nobody recovers from osteoporosis by going to the doctor. Isn't this obvious? Do we really want to participate in this scam? The only way to keep our involvement out of this sneaky, insidious, camel's nose under the tent interference in our daily lives is to refuse to participate in the medical model, but we can't refuse to participate in the medical model if our bodies are falling apart. And because our bodies are largely held intact by what we've been calling connective tissue, most of our body is connective tissue, as we said many times in the last couple of weeks, chronic degenerative disease is connective tissue disease more often than not. And if we're going to stop interfacing with this medical model, we have to understand how to rebuild our body, how to tap in to the rebuilding nature of the body. And this is what dealing with connective tissue disease is about. And I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. All right, so we've been talking about connective tissue disorders for the last couple of weeks. Osteoporosis, as we said yesterday, is a connective tissue disease. The vast majority of the body is connective tissue, and the vast majority of connective tissue is collagen. This is why collagen building is one of, if not the key strategies for addressing degenerative connective tissue disease, for addressing anti-aging, for addressing the healing process. When we talk about degeneration in the body, a significant amount of this degeneration involves collagen. If you're recovering from surgery, collagen building strategies can accelerate your healing dramatically. Same is true if you have osteoporosis. If you're starting to get fine lines and wrinkles, if you got fine lines and wrinkles, if you have arthritis, if you have many autoimmune disorders that affect connective tissue / collagen, think about collagen rebuilding strategy. We'll tell you what these are in here in a second. If you have heart disease, heart muscle is largely collagen. If you're dealing with any kind of heart disease, cardiovascular disease, your blood vessels are in large measure constructed out of collagen. Building this very important connective tissue protein is something you want to think about. Even if you just want to prevent these kinds of degenerative diseases, if you want to slow down the aging process, think collagen building. So what are some good collagen building strategies? Well, one of my favorite collagen building strategies, one of the best, is to eat collagen. And one of the best sources of edible collagen is a substance that women all over the world have known about for centuries. This is stuff that's readily available, it's cheap, it's got numerous health benefits. We'll be talking about these for the next couple of days, especially when it comes, by the way, to digestive health, which, as most of you realize by now, is a precursor to all degenerative disease. I'm talking about plain old gelatin. That's right, just plain old gelatin, which is nothing more than processed collagen. Collagen is gelatin. Gelatin is collagen. Now, if you're a vegetarian, you're obviously not going to be able to take advantage of this powerful source of nutrition. Gelatin comes from animal products. But if you're not a vegetarian, given the inexpensive, multifunctional, multi-beneficial nature of plain old gelatin, you would be wise to be making sure you're getting some of this stuff every day, ideally, at least every couple of days. Longevity's Pig Pack and Glucogel Caps will get you some gelatin. You can use Knox or Jello brand gelatin. Stay away from the sweetened kind, obviously. If you get your gelatin from the Glucogel Caps, you'll get multiple benefits because you'll get the glucosamine and the manganese, which works synergistically with the gelatin for building tissue. You can also get gelatin from bone soup. In fact, this is one of the most important benefits of making bone soup. The collagen / gelatin, same stuff, folks. The collagen / gelatin in bones will require a little bit of acid to dissolve it out of the cartilage and bone, so make sure that you're using apple cider vinegar or lemon or lime in your broths to acidify it. You can throw in some tomatoes. Those are also acidic, and they'll help dissolve some of that collagen off of the cartilage and off from the bone. Because most vegetables are not acidic, you want to add non-acidic vegetables towards the end of the cooking process, and you want to add your acid vegetables a little bit closer to the beginning of the cooking process. There's so many benefits to gelatin, whether you use Knox gelatin or bone soup gelatin or the glucogel cap gelatin. There's so many reasons to take this stuff, it's hard to know where to begin. First of all, gelatin is a source of amino acids. Pretty much all amino acids are going to be found in gelatin. It's basically pure amino acids. Using gelatin is like taking an amino acid supplement. If you take gelatin supplementally, if you get it in your bone soup, it's like getting straight amino acids. The most abundant of the amino acids that you'll find in gelatin is one of my favorite amino acids. It's the smallest amino acid. It's one that's super underappreciated. And it's one of the most, maybe the most, arguably the most critical of all the amino acids. It's glycine. Nearly a third of gelatin is composed of glycine. So when you take in your gelatin, you're taking a lot of glycine. And glycine is not considered to be an essential amino acid. Your body can make glycine. It's considered to be conditionally essential, meaning even though it's not a must-have, you'd be pretty smart to take it. That's what conditionally essential means. You don't absolutely have to supplement with it, but you'd be pretty smart to. One of the most important roles for glycine in the body is it helps you make collagen. It is what gives collagen its fibery nature. Eating glycine is one of the most important strategies you could ever use for helping your body build collagen. Women, listen up. It's not wrinkle cream you're looking for. There ain't no wrinkle cream, with some exceptions. There's a couple ingredients that may help stimulate collagen production, but not a lot. Certainly most of the ingredients and most of the products you spend so much money on for wrinkle cream isn't going to help you make collagen, isn't going to stimulate collagen production out of those raisins that we call them, the fibroblasts that make collagen, but eating glycine will. Glycine is a raw material for making collagen. When you think gelatin, think collagen. When you think collagen, think glycine. And because collagen is the most important component of connective tissue and bone, when you think glycine, think structure, think support, think connective tissue, think bone. When was the last time your doctor said, oh, you got osteoporosis? Take some glycine. When was the last time you heard a commercial, you heard Dr. Oz, or you heard anybody in the mainstream medical media telling you about glycine for bone? When? Never, because they never do. They tell you about calcium for your bone, and we get all kinds of calcium, but we still got lots of osteoporosis, but what we don't get is enough protein. And even if we do get enough protein, we don't absorb our protein. Gelatin for bone. Who knew? Something as inexpensive and benign and non-toxic as gelatin, bone soup-derived gelatin can be one of the most important bone-building nutrients you could ever use. Bone soup for your bones. How do you like that? Bone soup for your bones. In addition to easy-to-absorb protein, in addition to digestive health and wellness, in addition to immune system building, in addition to mega deliciousness, a good bone soup is one of the tastiest meals you'll ever eat. In addition to all that, it's now we know bone soup, because of its glycine and collagen content, is one of the best, maybe the best things you could do to prevent or to even reverse osteoporosis. And because the glycine in bone soup and the gelatin in bone soup, the collagen in bone soup are in essence pre-digested, using bone soup as a strategy for bone building can be incredibly, incredibly effective if you have digestive health or absorption issues. If you're not eating meat, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, or if you're a vegetarian, I should say, you can get glycine from fish, seafood, scallops. You can get them from eggs a little bit. High-protein foods, most high-protein foods are going to contain a lot of glycine. In fact, next to gelatin and meat and bone-type foods, seafood is probably your best source of glycine. Probably got the highest glycine content of any food you can eat. If you're vegan, you're going to have a little bit harder problem, but there's still stuff you could do to get glycine. I'll tell you what that is when we come back from a break. We'll also take your phone calls. 855-660-4261 is your number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking about connective tissue and glycine. I love this stuff, man. Glycine is the key component in plain old gelatin, and as a pharmacist, I am really fond of elegant, benign, multifunctional, gentle medicine, the kind of medicine that we're supposed to be using, the medicine that's our food. Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food, and nothing exemplifies this idea more than gelatin, more than glycine, the amino acid glycine. Now, if you're vegetarian, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. Fish and seafood are great sources of glycine, but if you're a vegan, now you got real problems. The only ways you're going to get glycine in high concentration if you're a vegan is by supplementing with glycine, or also pumpkin is an okay source of glycine. Soy products will get you some glycine. Generally speaking, most veggies are going to be low in glycine. Glycine is pretty much an animal protein amino acid. And if I was a vegan, and I wasn't eating fish, and I wasn't eating meat, I'd be making darn sure I was supplementing with 500 to 1,000 milligrams of glycine every day. Glycine is a primary building substance. It's a primary building amino acid, which means bone, and it means muscle, and it also, by the way, means cosmetic benefits. In fact, all of the building amino acids, tryptophan and glycine, and as we'll talk about here in the next day or two, proline, hydroxyproline, valine, these are super building amino acids. They all have cosmetic benefits. They all have anti-aging benefits. And when you consider the importance of tissue-building nutrition for keeping your skin young and beautiful and healthy looking, the real silliness of most wrinkle creams and most topical skincare products really becomes evident. Now, I said most because there's some nice topical strategies. There's some ingredients that you can use. Vitamin C is a very important ingredient for helping build collagen, and you can use vitamin C topically. Vitamin A can help you build collagen. You can use vitamin A topically. But the vast majority of skincare products that you get in department stores or that you hear advertised in the media are essentially useless. And I'm telling you this as somebody who's been formulating products for many years, skincare products for many years. All right, so glycine building, glycine healing. If you have any kind of burn, wound, trauma, if you're recovering from a broken bone, if you have acne, if you don't have zits and you don't want to get acne scars, if you have digestive breakdown, think glycine. Glycine is anabolic. Glycine is building. Glycine is a recovery-enhancing amino acid. Using 1,000 milligrams a day, or making sure you're getting bone soup, or making sure you're getting bones in general, chewing on cartilage, if you will. Anything you could do to get glycine in your body is going to increase your body's, improve your body's ability to heal and recover. Bodybuilders, weightlifters, athletes, take note. There is no amino acid with more relevance for building muscle. In addition to its constitutive role, it makes the substance of muscle. In addition to this role as a building block, a collagen building block, glycine is also a key component of one of the most important bodybuilding substances of all, something that's very underappreciated. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder to benefit from this substance. If you have heart disease, if you have skin problems, if you're recovering from surgery, if you want to just stay young, you want to know about this very, very underappreciated, misunderstood substance that comes from glycine, and we'll talk about that on our next Bright Side episode. Time to hit the phones on the Bright Side. Our number is 855-660-4261. Let us go to, let's see here, Wes in Idaho. What's up, Wes? You've been on hold for a while. How can we help you? Wesley in Idaho. Que pasa, amigo? Oh, I got to hit the button. Thank you. Wes in Idaho.
Hello, are you there?
I'm sorry, man. I forgot to hit the button. What's up, bro?
Oh, it was you. Okay. Yeah, the meaning of words reveal a lot of their history. The English language, it's the word pharmacy from the Greek word pharmakia, which means sorcery, witchcraft, and poison. You must know that, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Pharmakia means poison, or actually witchcraft, sorcery, all of those. That's true. What's the point there, Wesley?
Well, I wanted your comment. Also, it's kind of a good thing to teach us people out here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Your pharmacist is a witch doctor. Your pharmacist is literally a witch, by definition, is a witch doctor. That's true. That's why, and Wes, that's why these things don't work. They just disguise. They just hide. They just mimic. They just change. They fake things out. So I was saying yesterday, we're faking out health. We're pretending to be healthy. Thank you, Wes. I appreciate you bringing that up.
I got a comment for you.
Okay.
I used to play classical guitar quite a bit, and one of the things to make your fingernails strong, which was a good thing for playing guitar, was Knox gelatin. I'm going to buy some more today.
Good job, man. Good job. Thank you for bringing that up, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, your nails are composed of a very hard protein that contains the mineral, hardening mineral, sulfur. And so gelatin, indeed, as a source of collagen, gelatin is collagen, can help you build hard, strong tissue. Anywhere you got hard, strong tissue, your nails, your hair, your bones, all of these tissue can benefit by supplementing with gelatin, as women throughout the centuries have known that gelatin can be very helpful for cosmetic reasons, for hair and nails, but also works for all connective tissue. Thanks for calling, Wes. Appreciate it. Moving on. Let's go to Jay in Mississippi. What's going on, bro? How can we help you?
Yeah, Ben, I got a few questions for you.
Sure.
We are trying to get away from GMO, and we're growing our own animals. Nice. And I just have a few questions. Down here, we have a lot of chicken producers, and they use a lot of nasty stuff as far as growth hormones, antibiotics, GMO feed. And what I'm wondering is, if we use a lot of cattle farmers use the chicken scat to fertilize their pastures to grow the grass for the cows.
Okay.
Whatever is being fed to the chickens and then their fecal matter being used as fertilizer, does it then contaminate the grass?
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. Whatever the hormones, all the stuff that, especially the hormones, they're all excreted in the feces. And that stuff comes out and it goes into the food supply. Absolutely, that's correct. That's the problem when you start to feed animals these things. That's the problem with how we do. That's how we do agriculture. It's awful. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's the bigger the deeper I dig, I mean, I just don't see how we're going to get away from it. It's in everything.
You got to eat less food. That's the number one strategy, is to interface with food as little as possible. Just like you want to interface with the medical model as little as possible, you want to interface with food as little as possible, especially if you don't know where that food is coming from.
Right.
You know, and it is tough. You got to eat something. You just want to eat as little as possible, and you want to eat as low down on the food chain as possible, and you want to eat as unprocessed as possible. But even then, like you're pointing out, you know, even vegetables are going to be problematic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just have a couple other questions. My wife has really bad allergies, and she's also anemic, and I'm wondering, what is the best way to up her iron?
Well, don't worry about iron, bro. That's just another medical way that you can get drugged and treated by modern medicine. Anemia has to do with far more than just iron. Anemia is a blood issue. It's a blood cell issue. It's a cell disease, and you got to work on building cells, red blood cells. Hang tight. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. 855-660-4261 is our number. We'll be back right after this.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Back on the bright side, got a letter from Karen. Really neat letter here. First of all, it was you that cured my adult acne that I've been fighting for years. No, it was not me. It was the information. Continuing, after trying every acne product out there, I was listening to you on Alex Jones, and you mentioned using vitamin A for acne. Well, you are correct. It cleared it up in 1 month, and I owe you a big thank you. Well, I appreciate your thanks, Karen, but it wasn't me. It's pretty much common knowledge to anybody who understands biochemistry that acne in many cases is a vitamin A deficiency. That's why you get Retin A for treating acne, which is a vitamin A cream. There's a lot more that's involved, but vitamin A is certainly a key component to dealing with acne. Karen continues, my question I have is regarding melasma. About 2 years ago, I started noticing dark spots on my forehead. I've been to 2 dermatologists that say I have melasma. Melasma is very simple to treat. Melasma hyperpigmentation, dark spots that appear in the skin, is caused by problems with hormones, especially the hormone cortisol, adrenal stress hormone. So when you have melasma, the way they want to deal with it, internally anyway, is by using adrenal support nutrition working with the blood sugar system and working with the digestive system, going back to your triangle of disease. Topically, you can use sulfur, which we'll be talking about here probably sometime in the middle of next week, how to use sulfur for melasma. You can also use retinoic acid cream. In fact, everybody should be using retinoic acid cream, in my opinion, everybody who's interested at least in anti-aging of the skin. You can get generic forms of retinoic acid cream, that is vitamin A cream. If you don't want to deal with a prescription and you do need a prescription for Retin A, look for retinol cream, and retinol cream will also help you with hyperpigmentation and melasma. And you can also go to an esthetician and have skin peels done or exfoliation treatments, or you can get a good exfoliation product. Look for low pH exfoliation products, and that can help slough away pigmentation. But really you want to regard melasma, in my opinion anyway, you want to regard melasma as an adrenal health condition, a sign that your body is under stress and that you're cranking out stress hormones like cortisol and also estrogen, which is a stress hormone and a major inducer of pigmentation. Thanks for your letter, Karen. Back to Jay in Mississippi. Jay, you there, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to know about iron. Iron is a mixed bag. Iron is arguably, in fact, I would consider it, I don't even think there's an argument, it is the most active mineral in the body. It is just super, super fundamental stuff. And because it's so active, the body regulates it tightly, especially chemicals that are made by the liver. Liver chemicals, liver molecules, one in particular called hepcidin is involved in regulating how iron is metabolized, how iron is used. Just to take iron is dumb to treat anemia. Anemia is a blood cell issue. Just like all disease is cell disease, anemia is a blood cell issue. According to doctors, WebMD anyway, there's different types of anemia. There's hundreds of different types of anemia, but they all involve the loss of blood cells or some kind of dysfunction with red blood cells. It's a cell disease. So to treat anemia, you basically got to treat it the same way you treat all degenerative diseases. You've got to work on building healthy cells. That means, number one, focus on digestive health. That is for anemia, focus on digestive health. Jay, this is for your wife, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so does she have any digestive issues? Can't tell me no. She got it.
No, sir. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does she have anything going on with the digestive system that you know about? I mean, she has to.
Not that I know of.
Did you say she's anemic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you got to look for it. You got to find the digestive link. Because if she's anemic, she's not making blood cells, or her blood cells are somehow becoming dysfunctional and breaking down. And both of those would come from an impaired absorption or some kind of impairment in the digestive system. So number one, focus on digestive health. Focus on protein. For all cell-building issues, focus on protein and protein absorption. Get yourself on the One World Way. Use digestive enzymes. Use apple cider vinegar. You may benefit from bile salts. Use probiotics. You know, so I'm not saying anything about iron here. Number one, focus on digestive health and wellness and make sure she's getting enough protein. Number two, the B vitamins are majorly important for building things, especially cells that divide really rapidly. Red blood cells are moving and dividing and dying really quickly. In fact, there's no cells in the body that move and divide more quickly than red blood cells. So anytime cells are dividing and growing and dying rapidly, and red blood cells are doing that, protein and the B vitamins are going to be very, very important. Essential fatty acids are also very important for red blood cell health. I'd be using the Ultimate EFAs, 9 of them a day. Take them with food. Take them with digestive enzymes. Make sure you're on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, or she's on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Sip on it all day long. You may benefit from a B100 capsule. That's a B complex capsule that you take 3 or 4 times a day, in addition to the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Magnesium is super important for red blood cells. In fact, all of these are just as important as iron when it comes to red blood cell health. And if you have anemia, you've got a red blood cell issue. All right, so B vitamins, vitamin C, essential fatty acids, protein, focus on digestive health and wellness. If she doesn't know she has any digestive health issues, you got to have her find those. Okay, and something as simple as heartburn can be an indicator that you're not processing or absorbing food correctly. All right?
Okay.
Anything else, bro?
Question, real fast.
Yeah.
What is the number one thing to help with seasonal allergies?
Is this for you or for her?
This is for her.
Okay. allergies are an immune system reaction. That's a sign that the body's immune system is being overloaded. 80% of the immune system is the digestive system. So in essence, digestion equals immunity. Allergies are an immune problem, right? You see where we're going here?
Yes, sir. I see it. Okay.
All right. God bless, man. God bless. Good luck with everything. Love to hear how she's doing. If you want to call back or send me a note to ben@ksco.com. Thank you, bro. Take care. All right. Blue in Tennessee. What is up, my friend?
Hey, Ben. I'm probably the complete opposite of everybody else that calls in. I keep losing weight.
Okay.
I can't keep anything down.
Okay.
I'm down to, the size of a Kraft single that you individually wrap. I can't even eat the full size.
What are you eating?
Like I shouldn't be eating that.
What are you eating?
Very, very little. I have some, it's mostly juicing.
Well, that's a problem right there. You're not gonna if you're not that it's bad to mostly juice, and it may not be a bad thing that you're losing, that you can't gain weight, because we're supposed to be, as human beings, we're supposed to be lean. Now, weight loss, chronic weight loss, if you're losing weight, you may have a problem with malabsorption. Now, you'll know you have a malabsorption issue if you have some big-time digestive symptoms, especially diarrhea or loose stools.
Yep.
Anything like that?
Yep. Oh,
You
yeah.
do. Okay, so you're dealing with a malabsorption issue. That means you're not absorbing nutrients. Couple things. Number one, first of all, most important, focus on the foods that trigger the malabsorption. All right? When you have chronic diarrhea or chronic loose stools, one of the reasons that occurs is because the body's trying to eliminate something. When you eat something that the body considers to be toxic or the body considers to be poisonous, substances that are produced in plants, the body will initiate evacuation procedures. It'll throw things overboard. And by the way, this is all regulated by serotonin in the digestive system. So hyperserotonin or hyperstress can also be a problem. Two things. Number one, look for foods that are triggering diarrhea and loose stools. Secondly, if there's any chronic stressors in your life, whether they're emotional stressors, physiologic stressors, mental stressors, all of that can activate serotonin, and that will also cause an evacuative response. So you want to eliminate problem foods, and you want to figure out what's stressing your body, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical, and then eliminate that. Then there's some nutrients that you can take to help stabilize the digestive system, and none is more important than probiotics. You should be on the nightly essence. I'd be taking 80 billion units of the nightly essence. I think that's five or six of them a day. If you don't like the nightly essence, or you don't want to use the nightly essence, whatever you use, look for 80 billion units a day, and then also multiple strains of bacteria, not just one type of bacteria. Use fermented foods, especially cabbage soup. Bone soup can be very helpful for soothing the digestive tract and helping repair the digestive tract. If you have chronic long-term diarrhea or loose stools, chances are you've got some irritation in the digestive system. You may have some kind of broken tissue in the digestive tract. Bone soup can help soothe the digestive tract. So can glucosamine tablets, the glucogel caps, collagen, gelatin, all the things we're talking about for repairing connective tissue can have a reparative effect on your digestive system, can help slow down the movement of foods. Use bentonite clay. That can help slow up the movement of foods through the digestive tract and help you absorb more nutrients. On Monday, I'll tell you about how gelatin can be used also for helping with diarrhea and loose stools and to increase nutrient absorption. So focus on foods, focus on problem foods, focus on repairing the digestive tract. Make sure you're using fermented foods, miso, tempeh, natto. Use cabbage soup. Get on probiotics. And then, if worse comes to worse, bentonite clay can help slow down the movement of stuff through your digestive system and get you some more nutrients. Don't forget about the importance of protein, and don't forget the importance of essential fatty acids for all digestive issues, but especially for malabsorption type issues. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. That's all we have time for today. We'll continue talking about connective tissue diseases and glycine and gelatin and collagen on our next Bright Side episode. Check out my blog, pharmacistben.com. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.